You're watching Pyro Media Network.
Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
I require more, better than we ever had before. Gon' be whole, though I couldn't blame. Basic bottom show, what do you want greater? I am no wave, be surfing. I show you how to get this pay, will I be stacking?
Hey y'all, we are back for another week with Bey Windows, and I am Myzz Bey Windows. Man, I don't know how y'all are doing, but I definitely need this moment right now. So it's been a lot of processing this last couple of weeks just about relationships in general, but more importantly, like who am I? Who am I? So to come up into this topic today has just been nothing but alignment, I promise. Yeah, plan this out, but it's a thing about how spirit always brings you what you need to know in the exact time when you start asking the right questions. And so just in preparation for this conversation tonight, I've been seeing some things in my own life. And this song right here hurt me so good on Jasmine Sullivan's album Hotels, y'all. It's spot on. So for those of y'all who were like, what? That wasn't on the album? You don't have the whole album. She put out two. So you have one that's a condensed few songs on it, and then you got the other one. It's the whole shebang. It has different songs. So you absolutely want to make sure that you have both albums. Because if you haven't heard Hurt Me So Good, you not have an opportunity to sit with yourself the way you need to. But tonight, we're going to talk about just how you need to sit with yourself while you're listening to this song. So we're going to get into it, y'all. I got some questions for me first, and then y'all. All right? Question number one. Let's dive into this. So have you ever been in a relationship that was good because it was so painful? Why do you even think that happens? So when you listen to this song, the conversation and the context of it is that this relationship is crazy. It's toxic. This person doesn't even love her. This person doesn't pay attention to her. This person is absolutely always making the wrong decisions, and she's left picking up the pieces on her own. And there's this line in the song where it actually says, you got my mental, and I would leave if I could. Boy, that powerlessness that comes over us when we're in these crazy situations is crazy. And so when I think about this first question, have I ever been in a relationship that was good because it was painful? I'm gonna say yes. Yes, I've absolutely been in those relationship dynamics before. And I think it happens because we have this misconception that feeling is good. And so we have these extremes where love and pain are feelings. They're strong emotions. They are the things that help you feel alive. They're the things that allow you to feel. And so because we think we are feeling, we think it is love. And so we confuse pain with love all the time until you mature, until you start working on yourself and realizing the difference. And it takes a while, y'all. It does. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to act like I got it right the first time, second time, third time, fourth. I'm not going to act like I got it right last week. I didn't. Because it's that thing that you have to constantly pay attention to. And we get into these situations where we say it hurts so good because the sex is good, the money is there, or because I just have someone. I have someone I can take a selfie with. I have someone I can come home to. I have someone I can talk on the phone to or text with. I have someone who I can have a child with, right? Like, so we sacrifice understanding and learning and experiencing real love for that pain simply because we just don't know. So that, at the end of the day, we get into these situations. So question number 2, let's dive into it. How do you recognize when someone is treating you badly because you're still emotionally attached to them? Man, this one right here is a challenging one because I will say I'm still seeing this. I'm still seeing this play out in some of my relationships because I ain't gonna lie to you. Relationship with family, friends, situationship, some of these things drag out so long and you're so used to that unhealthy dynamic. I know for me, I'm so used to the unhealthy dynamic that it's hard to see the difference. And so for me, sometimes it's just being in a space where you are setting some standards for yourself. That's really where you start to see it. When you start to set the standard of how you want to be spoken to, how you want to be treated, how you want to be perceived, when you start to share parts of yourself, like your dreams, your goals, and that person is they just nasty. They just treat you badly. They don't have a real sense of love and care for you and the way that they approach you and support you. 9 times out of 10, that emotional connection is absolutely unhealthy and you gotta go. You gotta go. And so how you recognize that is when you start to set some standards and you put some boundaries out there and you see how they respond. Do they respect it or do they dismiss it? Do they actually try to do better by you? Or do they just say, hey, this is who I am. You got to take me as I am. What is their response? And then that's when you know if that attachment to them is just emotionally unhealthy and it is not love. Pay attention. Question number 3. What is the hardest lesson you've learned about love and self-care? Oh my God. So like, this is one of those things where I had to sit with myself, y'all. I had to sit with myself for a long time, knowing that this question was coming up, because for me, I have all of the character traits that would say, hold on tightly for too long. I am a middle child. I am a Pisces. I choose love and peace over conflict and war, like all day long. And so I have been in so many relationship dynamics where people have taken advantage of that concept of long suffering, right? where you just stay in this thing so long. And so what I had to sit back and say is that there's a difference between love and long suffering. But more importantly, there's a big difference between long suffering and having a dysfunctional relationship because you don't know how to change your response or your expectations. And so, like, for me, self-care in the beginning just really looks like loving yourself enough to say enough is enough. And then you have to unravel what all of that looks like. Like, that's the start. This right here is a problem. This person right here is mistreating me. This person right here does not deal with me in love and understanding, right? And so it is not your responsibility in life to suffer for love. That's not it. If you're not growing, if there's not an agreement where you all are both working towards the same goals, and you're improving, they're improving, whether that is a personal relationship, a business relationship, whether it is your relationship with yourself, if there's not improvement that's happening, then you're long suffering for the sake of pain and for the sake of suffering. And that ultimately is just going to drag you down. Like, have you ever been connected to somebody and you can't even dream? Have you ever been in a situation like, I can't see past today? My brain is so clouded with the bullshit that comes from being connected to this thing or this person, and I can't even dream. I wake up mad. I come home and I don't even want to be there because that person is there. Like, you long suffering for the wrong reasons. And so, like, for me, one of my new mantras is long suffering is a spiritual calling, not a dysfunctional choice rooted in your personal condition or conditioning. Because the other part of that is some of us, from our roots, from our family of origin, from your mama, your daddy, your grandparents, your siblings, they have taught you that long suffering means pain is rooted or wrapped in love. And that ain't it at all. Don't buy into it. So for me, self-care is recognizing when enough is enough. And that's a great place to start. Question number 4. Let's talk about it. Do you believe people can truly heal from toxic relationships, or do some scars last for forever? Woo! This is another one of those hard ones because I love to believe that everyone has the capacity to do and be the same, which also means that they have the capacity to heal. They have the capacity to grow. They have the capacity to move past hurts, which will allow them to have room for you and to give to you and pour into you. So you all have a healthy exchange, right? Ideally, that is the world that I want us to live in. But the truth of the matter is that healing is a choice. And it is also an action word. And I work in behavioral health. And so what I know is some people just really don't have the capacity for change. They don't. They do not have the cognitive ability. They do not have the emotional intelligence. They do not have the foundational skills, whether they are 8, 18, 52, 78. They don't have it. And for those people, you have to acknowledge that they don't have it. And then you make a choice. Do you want to stay connected to that person closely? Or do you need to distance yourself because it's unhealthy for you? But you have to make that choice at that time. But for people who have the capacity and they're just legitimately not making the choice to lean into their own healing, then that person, that's a person that you might want to really check yourself to see if that's somebody who you need to be connected with. And sometimes that person is you. I know for me, I have been in spaces of my life where I was not ready to heal. I wasn't ready to hear the truth. I wasn't ready to see what was right in front of my face. I wasn't ready to make a choice to change my situation, whether it was because of my default setting, because religion a lot of times it pushes you into complacency, especially when you're connecting it to long suffering, right? And so whether it was my conditioning or it was just the fact that I just wasn't in a healthy space. Maybe I was in this triggered state because of life was happening, or maybe it was because I thought I could fix something or someone. But for whatever reason, I wasn't ready to make a choice. So my own healing was literally on the other side of me just being true with myself. And so in that situation, in that space, I was not even a person to connect with. Like, let's be real. I can talk about all these people who didn't love me and didn't see me. But if I'm honest with myself, I can also say, you know what? The me today wouldn't have dealt with the me then either. And for all of those people who made a wise decision for themselves to walk away, I can't even be mad at them. Like, I have an appreciation for them. I had to learn, I had to grow, I had to become wise within myself. I had to live a little bit longer to understand. And so sometimes it's you that's not leaning into healing, which is why you're having the problems you're having. But if it's the other person that you're wanting to be in relationship with, like, you are making the conscious choice to heal because you recognize that it is an active choice, moment by moment, some days. And that other person is not meeting you in that healing space, then you in a toxic situation. And you all are not moving in the same direction, not spiritually. So that's messing up your energy, and you're not being able to attract the things that's going to move your life forward. It's not going to happen. There are some people that literally do not get a financial break until they leave the person that they're in that toxic relationship with. We talk about these glow ups after a relationship. Well, that toxic relationship was holding up your blessings. Sometimes it's just on the other side of making a choice. Pay attention. Tell yourself the truth. If it's time to go, it's time to go. And I'm talking to me first. And then y'all. Promise. It's hard, but it's right. Question 5. How do you protect your peace when someone keeps pulling you into their chaos? Lord. They just keep calling, keep texting. They see you out walking on the street and they want to stop you and pull you over and tell you all about their days. Lord, they just keep pulling you in. Your wife wants you to fight on the church parking lot because she's stirring up shit. Like, what we doing? What we doing? Your kids. If y'all got kids, your kids, they keep having you get called up to the school because they don't know what to do with themselves. And then you're in this relationship with someone that you are, in your mind, attempting to build with on whatever level, but they're not making responsible choices, whether it is their interpersonal communication with others or their business choices or, their choices in regards to you. It's just chaos all around them. Everywhere they go, nothing can ever flourish. If that's your life, you either really love chaos and you got to tell yourself the truth. Either you really love chaos or you still haven't learned that your peace is your choice. And so for me, the way I protect my peace, in some instances, if it's a situation where I can distance myself, then I distance myself. I am real good on the tip out. My tip out is strong. I've had a lot of years of practice. And so if it's a situation that I don't need to be in, I will exit stage left in a second. They'd be like, Manal was just here. Gone. Pew, gone. Okay. So that's one thing. If it's a situation where you can distance yourself, remove yourself, do that. If it is a relationship that you no longer need to be a part of, send them a beautiful goodbye. I sent a nice long message to somebody, and let me not say long. It wasn't long. It wasn't lengthy, but I sent a message and I said, hey, here's where I am. Here is my standard and expectation. If you want to meet it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. Holla at your girl. And they didn't respond. And it's okay. But then they tried to hit me up on some other tip. And I was like, we can't do it. Because I've already put out who I am, where I am, and what I'm wanting for my life. And you're not willing to meet that. So we don't have to have communication. And we don't. Can't happen. And then you have situations that you absolutely cannot get out of, right? For whatever reasons, maybe these people on your job, or it's people within your family, you're going to see them at grandma's birthday party or whatever. Like, there's some people that you can have 5 words with, and some people that you have to have 50. But if it is a work thing, you keep it cordial, you keep it professional. We don't ever have to talk about what I did this weekend. But what we're going to talk about is your work. We're going to get this work done. You don't have to worry about why I painted my nails the way I painted my nails. We're not having that conversation. You do not have to know anything about my child and what's going on at school. We don't have to have those conversations. You no longer get access to my personal life. We're going to keep it professional. We're going to keep it cordial. And that requires an emotional intelligence on your end. So you're going to have to put in some work if you can't do it. Ask for some help. I've had to ask my mentors, guide my life, because I got a trigger here with certain things. So I've had to work on it. I've had to submit to guidance on that area. If it's a family member, you have to gauge, like, is this person critical to my life? And in what ways? If this person is not critical to my life, well, then that's a person that you can absolutely have a conversation with. Hey, when we get together, it is unhealthy and I don't like it. And I've tried to make adjustments. Hopefully you have. I've tried to address these things in the past. Hopefully you've been direct and respectful. And it is not working. So I believe it is in our best interest to distance ourselves. And you had a conversation. Like, no love lost. You ain't got to, talk to me at the supermarket or nothing like that. You ain't even got to like my Facebook post. Like, we don't even have to do none of that. And then you let it alone. Now they probably don't get on the phone and tell, cousin so-and-so and auntie such and such, whatever their perspective. But that's none of your business what they do after you set your boundary. A lot of us don't make these healthier choices because we're concerned about how people are going to respond or how they're going to, put our name out there. I know that's something that I've absolutely had to sit back with. Do I care what they say when I'm not in the room? I do not. At this point in my life, I do not. Because at the end of the day, I am actively pursuing healing, and I am actively pursuing healthy ways to live and exist in healthy relationships. And so if people want to be unhealthy in my presence or outside of my presence, it's none of my business, because I've set my boundary. And I am who I am before they do what they do. So we don't have no problems. When we get back from this commercial break, y'all, I got a little game we're going to play. Okay? We're going to dive into some more conversation. But I got a little game we're going to play. Okay? So come on back after commercial. I'll see y'all in a second.
Hey y'all, it's Nicole D. Vick from Nicole D. Vick Live, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
Hey, it's Pastor Kim from It's Just Kim Live Show, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
Y'all, I love my theme music. It is a whole vibe, and I just feel like it is the perfect song for me. The producers of Pyro Media Network, Kwame, hey, like such a great job. It just thorough production. And the way he saw me through that song, it just makes me feel so seen. So every time I have to get on here and do this podcast, y'all, I vibe out because that's my jam. All right, it's for me. I don't know about you, but it's for me. Okay, all right. So we are back from the break, and I told y'all we got a little something we're gonna do today. So it was a special game. So this segment is called "Come Get Your Child." Okay, look. Come get your child. Thank the mothers of all mothers. You hear me? Come on, Claire. Because when Claire was ready to read somebody, she read them with all the love and profession that are the professional level she could have. She accessed all of them and read them down. You hear? So come get your child. So here's the thing. When we're talking about being in these toxic relationships, again, Jasmine did such a great job with this song and talking about how you hurt me so good. Like some of us are just so attached and addicted to this pain, and we are calling it love, and it is not. It is dysfunction at its core. It is dysfunction. And so, like the way she was saying, if I could just leave, I would. And so many of us have been in these situations, but there are some people that are just so good at creating this illusion around you that just adds to your delusion and dysfunction that sometimes it is hard to see your way out. It is. I know there are some friends of mine that have been in domestic violence relationships, and the best way I could support them was just saying, call me when you're ready to go. Like I cannot unravel that relationship for you. I can't do it as much as I would love to. I mean, there's some beautiful people, beautiful children that are involved in these situations, but I can't unravel that for you. You have to get to the point where you can say, you know what? This hurt me so good. Shit is over. I'm done with this. And so, like, I know for me, there's been some relationships where I just been like, come get your child. Like, I am so over this. I'm over this. I'm over this person. Where is your mama, your daddy? I don't care. You 30, you're 80. I don't care. Come get them because this is crazy and they should know better, you know? And so, like, there was the situation. I'm fully honest with you. And to be honest, look, y'all, I am not a one-sided individual because sometimes it's me, okay? It's me. Sometimes I am the toxic one. All right. And somebody need to come drag my ass out the door. Okay. But there was a situation where I was in this relationship with this person, and this was my early on relationship. Okay. So this individual, I was still learning me. I was still learning life. I was still learning how to have a voice. Like that has been a huge thing for me, is not communicating my wants and needs and being able to adequately set boundaries in my interpersonal relationships. Starts at the root, right? That's a whole other conversation. So like in this relationship, I was not vocal about everything that I was wanting and needing. And so this person, they were trying all they could to make our relationship work. I believe that this person absolutely loved me in a way that I could not understand. And this person, they walked away from me because of my inability to make healthy choices for myself. And they were so right to do that. It hurt for a long time, but they were right to do that because they were not going to stand around while I made all these unhealthy choices for myself when they are literally trying to love me and be there for me. And so they walked away. And I could say a whole lot of things, but they were right. They were right to do that. And so in that situation, like, I'm sure that person was saying, come get your child. Come get her. because she tripping. She tripping. And for real, sometimes we got to do it. Come get your child. Okay? Have y'all ever called somebody's parent? I have. I've called a parent of an adult. I don't even care. Okay. So look, but this is a situation. This is a situation. So like this person was making some very unhealthy choices with substances, had some mental health challenges. It was kind of all wrapped in there. And me and my child were now in this situation. And like no one was showing up. You know, it was one of those situations where they were like, you know, he with you, bye, you got him. And I was like, I don't. And so in that, you know, trying to get therapies, trying to get medication going, trying to just create an environment of peace and calm, doing long suffering. I thought I had to do this whole long suffering thing. That's gonna be a whole other conversation, y'all. We're gonna unravel this long suffering. We got to talk about it. And so I was locked in that, and it took me a minute, but that one right there, I finally called the parent. I said, "Come get your child. I'm not having another day with this individual. We're not having another conversation. I'm not trying to rationalize not another damn thing. Like, I don't even have another meal to prepare for this person. Come get him. Come get him. We're done. My son, he's not doing okay anymore. I am not doing okay anymore." When you talk about being locked in something so toxic to where you are not even able to function. And by function, I mean, I don't care about washing my own ass today. That's a problem. When I am not able to formulate a thought and an opinion, that is when you are at your lowest. Okay, I can't get myself out of bed. This gotta go. This has to end. I am bigger than this. I am better than this. And I have more for myself than this situation right here. And so does my son. And I had to decide that. So come get your son, because I'm done. We out of this. And it was a hard end, but it had to end. And I'm so glad that I had other people before me who were with me, and they moved on and they were able to make a better decision for themselves, because it empowered me to learn how to do the same. And sometimes people leaving your ass helps you learn when it's time for you to leave someone else's ass. Truth. All right, y'all. One more. Okay, for real. So sometimes it's them. Sometimes it's you. And sometimes it is motherfucking us. Okay, because whatever that tornado is that you're creating with that other person, like the energy is so real and so raw and so big, and you're just feeling and feeling and feeling, and it feels like there is love here. Nah, that's just straight. That's bullshit, baby. Baby, that's bullshit. That's not love. And somebody somewhere is pulling from the other. And this push and pull that you got going on is so unhealthy. And you can be locked in it for so long. I was locked in something for 10 plus years, y'all. Off and on for 10 plus years. That was so unhealthy. Like this toxic tornado. That's the best way I can describe it. And I had to wake up and realize that whereas I thought I was investing my time, energy, effort, attention, all of my goodness, I thought I was investing. This other person was just like, shoot, I'm going to get what I can get. And thus the tornado was spinning. Okay. And everybody around us would get caught in that mug, you know? So it's like, I had to get to a point where I said, come get your child. And I had to say, Mama, Daddy, y'all come get me. Hey, sisters, cuckoo. I had to call my sisters. Y'all, look, help me help myself, because I know it not what I do with, and I need some support. you know? And so like just creating now this wall of interventions for myself even, but addressing the fact that that person is not for me. It's not for me. I don't, whatever delusions, you know, trying to convince myself or convince them of, whatever the case may be. When I woke up and realized that there were no values here that was foundational for us, that we were working towards something together, that we had shared goals that were pulling us together in that capacity, and that we actually were both working on ourselves to be with each other. When I realized that that was not happening, I had to say, come get your child. Come now, get him. It's either that or I hurt him. I'm not gonna hurt nobody. I'm not gonna hurt nobody. Can't do it, y'all. Butterflies fly. We fly. All right. So, you know, so we said a lot. I said a lot. We talked about a lot. So let me just try to put this in a nice little bow for y'all. Okay. The truth of the matter is that Jasmine Sullivan song off of that Hotels album called Hurt Me So Good, it helps us to remember that we can be in these unhealthy, toxic relationships and absolutely have the perspective that we're in it for the right reasons. We can. And we just in here calling it whatever we want to call it. And we're calling it everything but what it should be called, which is unhealthy and dysfunctional. And for some of us, it is just a matter of choice. Is that something that you want to be locked into? Yes or no? And the minute you know, are honest with yourself, yeah, I want to be locked in this. I like toxic. Toxic works for me. I feel like I can be my best self in this toxic ass situation. Okay. Well, that's you. Do you for real? If that's where you're at, because not everybody is in the space of their lives, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, where they are absolutely wanting to actively heal and fix their toxic ass shit. Some people not there, and it's okay. Let them be that. But then there are other people that are literally saying, you know what? I recognize this is unhealthy. I recognize I'm not being my best self. I recognize that there's more for my life and I want it. You literally are on the other side of a choice, the other side. And that choice right there in the middle is how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to tell that person that you're not available to talk on the phone? Do you want it bad enough to say, you know what? Nah, if they call me after 9 p.m. asking me to come over, my phone is on do not disturb. Do you want it bad enough to say, you know what? Let me go ahead and file these papers because it's time for me to end this relationship. And I'm ready to make that change because I'm choosing me. And long suffering is not it's not the position that you're supposed to play in life. You have the ability to change that the moment you choose. And if you need some help, if you need some support, I hope you got at least 1 or 2 people in your circle who you can have and pull them in to allow them to hold you accountable to loving and choosing yourself. Because the best self-care is telling yourself the truth even when it's hard. And the next best self-care is doing exactly what you need to do for yourself. Choose healthy, choose whole, choose healing actively. And I promise you're going to find the love that you need from within. Thank y'all for joining me today. Be well, choose courage. And I promise you, if you dance a little bit, just a little bit, you might feel better and you might also lose that belly. That's the goal, okay? Okay, we work on our summer bodies in the winter. See y'all next time.
Oh, yes, yes. Same way you used to, I require more, better than we ever had before. Gon' be whole, so I couldn't blame. Basic bottom troll, what do you want greater? I am no wave, be surfing. I show you how to get this pay, will I be stacking?
Thank you for watching Pyro Media Network. For more information, please visit pyromedianetwork.com.